Hey everyone, and welcome again to the Temple Trials. Today we are building another scene, actually in more of inside of a temple. This is gonna be one of the more cooler scenes I'm building here, or not cooler, but warmer in that sense, because this is gonna be very hot. This room is gonna be like filled with lava, magma fields, and all that stuff, and it's gonna look very, very dope. The point about this is that before you enter this like little circle of puzzles, you will enter this room, which will be like the fire room, like the lava room, as I told you guys about. The whole concept here is that all these temples you visit will each like offer the elements, like earth, water, fire, and ice, a little bit like cool stuff too. And it's gonna be very, very cool in that sense, and while you're actually also researching and like figuring out what the hell is happening while you're being the artifact hunter and his sidekick's little entourage, as I told you guys about last time. But today we are pretty much again using a lot of the adventure pack pieces. As I'm telling you, this pack is going to be very superior in this series here. This is something I did wanted to do for a long time, and we've got a very good start on it on stream, and I felt like sharing, as I told you last time. So we have 3 more episodes coming your way here, where I'm literally just making a few scenes, and then you will eventually get a look at how everything has turned out, and I hopefully will continue this series after. But as you can see here, the whole concept about this thing here is you are gonna come through this ramp here again, but you're gonna have 2 different paths to go to. The narrator and etc. is gonna tell you this, while on the left side you will have a swing coming through the door all the time. So you obviously won't go that direction, but as a writer and experience, if you don't know, it will give you like a little, which way should I go? But then it'll slowly slide towards the right side, where you are going towards the right path, the right gates. It's all about the illusion and like the whole like concept of getting people attention, and like their whole like to get a little bit more excited than they usually should be about where they should go. And the whole puzzle and solving thing about in this ride here is very high, because it's kind of like I said in the Tomb Raider style. I want a lot of this to be implemented, and I want to have it to feel like you're not only writing this, but you're also kind of like solving things in your head while experiencing all what's happening around you. And I might also get a guest builder on this. We don't know yet. Might be one that comes in and make a little bit scene too. But I'm using the Ghostbusters pieces here, which is something I have honestly not really done before, like this sort of door temple piece here, and it actually works super, super well. So this is kind of like, first, as you can see, of another pack I've been used now since the first episode here. So it's really nice to get to figuring out what pieces work together from different packs, because I have not really been seeing that so much. So yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, you can see here I'm kind of like trying to add so whatever you see on the wall here kind of fits with the surroundings, and I thought that was kind of cool as well. And then that's where I got the idea of like making lava going through their kind of like underneath their statue, and then fall down into this sort of bath of lava that will also continue to go down to this magma field, as you see here. And it will again be like the other scene, where you'll drive on this little ramp, and you will have like these lava plunges coming up and down and splashes, and it'll just be a very immersive experience. And then we'll put in some sound effects, and like even probably try to see if we can get a custom soundtrack to this. So it's gonna be really, really cool. And this scene specifically is probably one of my favorites so far. But it's mainly because of how cool it looks when it's all done. You guys are gonna love it. It's not really my, as I said last time too, my forte to build these kind of scenes here, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm having so much fun building this sort of series here, this sort of dog ride. It's something that I don't do a lot, so it really excites me to build something and come up with a story and all that. As you can see here, I want a lot of these like guardians, like a lot of these faces to appear in this ride, because it's a lot about the guardians, it's a lot about the elements, and I feel like getting all this together and placed together as well would really work well. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing the same thing about building one segment and then having a segment to divide it, which is going to be these skull statues that will that spits out this lava, which connects to this kind of thing. And it works very well, especially when we get the roof on top as well. It's it looks pretty damn epic, if you ask me, and I'm really happy for this section. And we even add a lot more, like we add some chains at the end, and as you saw in the cinematics, it's gonna look super dope. And when we actually get some sound effects in here too, and with the narrator too, it's gonna be such an immersive experience. And as I told you before, we already did kind of like the station, the facade, and I will show you guys that in a later episode, where we'll give you a little bit of a tour of the things you kind of haven't seen me build. So don't worry, I will at some point give you guys a little recap of the things that you missed out on, because there is actually a lot of things. And there's also even this super cool scene we have in the start, where we have like this little tomb is open, and that's kind of like where we need something to happen, like it's like a soul is leaving its tomb, and you kind of like following it, and then afterwards you come up with this while you're with the artifact hunters. It's gonna be super cool. And I've always wanted to like have a story with like some sort of an artifact hunter or something, so I feel like we're gonna get something good out of this. And as you can see here now already, it's really starting to look of a cool scene, like inside of a temple. And I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Tomb Raider right here, and also a lot of Uncharted. So you might see like a little bit of references sometimes here and there with like this. I remember this like this cool fire temple. You go inside and you have like these big heads hanging around, and they don't come out with like lava or anything like that, but it's just such a cool scene, I remember. And it's kind of like what I'm trying to do here. I've been trying to find the scene but there's just no screenshot of it, and I just can't remember exactly where it's at in the game. But it was really dope, and it's kind of like what the concept comes from here. And as you can see, back to the start where I told you guys about the whole hammer going back and forth here in the start as well. So when you go here, both of the doors are gonna open, and you will hear them talk about which decision or which way they should go, and then they'll eventually go to the right stage or right scene, of course. And then we will continue to another one, which you will see next time, which is also going to be a beginning to a little bit of a newer section as well, some new puzzles and stuff. So before you enter here, you go through this arch and this circle where a lot of things are going to happen. That's where the puzzle solving happens. And then you go into the fire temple here, which is mainly just the scene and this, like, as I told you, these two roads that divides, and you'll have to figuring out which way you need to go. So that's mainly what's happening here. But besides that, I really love how everything came together here nicely as well. And I'm really digging like the magma and all that, because I think I have never used those pieces at all, actually. I have never made a scene or anything where I needed to use it. So it's quite nice to actually get to use a lot of these adventure pieces that I haven't really had a chance to do, because as I said, I haven't done a lot of these projects, so it feels nice. And I have a little bit of a glow back in Planet Coaster of actually building something kind of like Atlantica. It's nice to actually come up with something that you have fun with again, besides going on the same projects for a long time. We all know how like a deadbeat that can be at times. So it's nice, it's refreshing, and I hope you guys feel it too. I'm very close here to kind of like close up the entire roof a bit here, but I was also kept some of it a little bit more open because I feel like that was kind of needed, because then you could put a star panel in there and it would feel like you are still like inside, but you can slightly see a little bit of the outside, but mainly just the stars, as you can see here. And it also keeps on making it a little bit more darker, and it's really important to have that. So putting up some rocks, and again making it feel like you are somewhat inside of a temple, and everything is built on the walls and on the mountain, the terrain, and yeah, it's just really nice. It's just really nice. So getting there very close, putting in some vines as well, some ivy, really trying to get that jungle, you know, temple, terrain, cavern, tomb style, long word, out of this. And the more I added here, I was like, this is gonna look so cool. So it was really just a nice boost. So following up here, we are just trying to clean out the stuff from the previous scene here, and then kind of like trying to add some more lighting and a little bit more immersiveness into this entire scene here. As I said, we add some chains to kind of like support up the ramp, and then we add some smoke and do that trick with the fire where we color it black. So it's mainly just the heat waves we get, and it actually makes such a cool view for when you actually enter to this scene here. You guys are gonna see it in the cinematics. It's really cool, and it's such a cool effect it does. So remember to do that. If you kind of like are looking for a little bit of a cool effect, you can do that as well. You also saw it in the previous park tour, Mythgard, where Coaster Cat and SF Ranger kind of like took that underneath the skeletons, so it felt like the skeletons were kind of like popping up from like just nowhere, and they were kind of like just an imagination of you, like what you're. It was really cool. Like it's really cool, and you can do that by doing that effect. But in any case, we are just going through the last bits here before the cinematics, and then we are like pretty much done with this stage too. The triggers and all that stuff is obviously something we're gonna add on at the end, because I like to just build my scenes and then afterwards do this. But I'm actually quite curious on how you guys do dog rides. Do you build one scene at a time and then add all the triggers? Do you write the whole story, the whole thing first, and then do all the scenes after? Or what do you do? I'm curious to this, because this is not, as I said, not really what I do normally. So I'm very curious to how you others are doing it. Like some of you are master builders to make dog rides, and it would be nice to hear what you guys do to give it that extra, you know. But leave a like and a comment, guys, and hope to see you in my next Temple Trials video, where we're gonna build a little extra scene as well. So yeah, have an amazing day, friends, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.